Hey everybody, we're getting right back into this. I haven't done this in a little bit, but it felt like it was time to get back to the live coding world. So here I am. I'm Jeff Blankenberg, if you haven't seen this before, and I'm here to write some code. I'm trying to dedicate more of my time to sitting and building, and one of the best ways I found to do that is to just do it in public. And so here we are. So what I'm working on is an Alexa skill, no surprise there. But what I am building is a skill that's designed to be for Alexa skill developers. Some of you that have been around a long time may have seen variations of this idea, but I have some momentum and some energy and some ideas behind it that haven't existed before. And so that's what I'm going to be working on. So I'll probably be here for, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe. But the plan is to write some code, build some things, make Alexa do some stuff. Good morning, Kevin Evans. Welcome. And so we'll just get right into this. I have a whole bunch of stuff I want to do, and so I thought I just kind of get in and I'll show you what I have so far, and then we can kind of go from there. So with that, let me jump right in. I'm gonna do this. Hopefully my voice doesn't sound terrible. I know sometimes people say it gets crackly or whatever, but I'm sharing my screen now. And so I'm going to jump between that and that. So let's see if that, there we go. So these are the two interfaces that I'm going to be working in. This is Visual Studio Code, if you haven't played here before. And there's some really nice, thanks Hawk 2000. Thank you for being here. If you haven't used Visual Studio Code before, there's actually some really nice tools for Alexa development built right in. And so the Alexa Skills Toolkit allows you to do all sorts of cool things, including local debugging, which makes things just about infinitely faster. So, oh, Sudoku's here too. Man, we're going to have a good day. Okay, so I'm going to put on the glasses. My age is showing. And we're going to get right into this. So as you can see here, I'm on my launch request handler right now. Nothing super exciting about this. This happens to be the page that I was on. I was testing over the last half hour, 45 minutes, making sure that this machine was fully updated and had all the latest stuff. And I've already written some code. You can see that stuff here. So let's talk about that briefly. The stuff that I already have this skill doing, if we jump in here, is that I've opened my skill. So this is the testing console for Alexa skill development, if you haven't seen this before. And what I'm going to do is I said open voice developer. Voice developer happens to be the invocation name I'm using right now. This isn't published, but I'm hoping to get at least a V1 or a V0.1 published soon. But with that, I'm opening the skill and it says, welcome, Jeff. What can I help you with? You can hear speech cons or sound effects or ask me questions. This will evolve significantly. The idea behind this skill ultimately, it's serving three purposes. The first one is I want you to be able to come in and use and hear all of the things that you could possibly hear when it comes to stuff you would build for Alexa. So the first obvious stuff that I picked up, we have a sound effects library. There's 3,000 something sound effects in that library. And it's not easy to search and find exactly what you're looking for. So I thought it might be nice to just say like, hey, give me the sound of a bell. And then I could just play for you a few sound effects that are from the bell category or that have the word bell in the title. And we'll dig into the data on that later. I'm going to have to add some metadata to all of the sound effects so that I have better search capabilities. Because right now all I have is the name of the sound effect. And sometimes that's just bell 01 or bell 02. So maybe we can have like church bell versus like hand bell or something like that. Anyway, we'll get into all that. The other thing is speech cons. If you're familiar with speech cons, Alexa allows you to say specific words with a lot more emphasis. And so I can give you an example of one of those now. Let's do say Great Scott.
Great Scott. What should we do now?
So you can see that she said Great Scott with like a little more emphasis. Or we could say he shoots, he scores. Or actually, I found out there's another one of these. We'll do this one. She shoots, she scores. Say she shoots, she scores. And you'll hear there's a lot of emphasis in this voice.
She shoots, she scores. What would you like to try?
So there's a few things that I generally do when I'm building Alexa skills, and one of them you're kind of seeing here, which is that it does the thing that I asked it to. So it said "Great Scott," or it says "She shoots, she scores," right? And then it tacks on this, "What would you like to try?" So these are what I call action queries. This is my own term. I'm sure there's a more official term somewhere else. But this action query is the thing that I tack on to the end of every interaction that a user has with my skill. And the reason for this is because you want to keep it going. So if the user just wanted to hear "she shoots, she scores," then they could say stop or quit or something like that. But if I prompt them with like, "Hey, let's try something else," or "Let's do this thing," then they might use the skill more. They might explore or find some other functionality. So these action queries, I actually store all of my content in a database. And for those of you that have seen me on here before, I tend to lean into something called Airtable. Airtable is fantastic for a lot of this stuff, and it makes it very easy for me to allow other collaborators to come in. There's lots and lots of data solutions out there that are great. But the reason I like this one is because I can literally point any person at this, technical, non-technical, it doesn't matter. And they can understand this interface. They can understand that like, oh, I just add another row. So I have these action queries right here. These 4 rows. So these are questions that the skill will ask the user at the end of each statement. And of course, I had to write some code to make this happen. But we can, if we're like, oh, you know what, we want to have a different action query that's something like, did you know that you can ask for sound effects? Just say play a, say something like play a laser sound effect. I don't love this, but I'm not here to focus on content today, so we'll just add this one in here, and maybe we'll see it as we go. So there's a couple of other things I have to add to this though. I have to set it as a type of content. So this is an action query that should end up there. There we go. And then I have to say what locales this content is available for, because every bit of content that you have needs to be tagged with a locale so that you know whether you can play this in English or Japanese or Australian or UK English or whatever. So for the most part, all of my content is going to be available to everybody that can speak English. So that happens to be these 5. That's Australia, Canada, Great Britain, India, and the US. If I really want to go crazy with this, I could find some native French speakers, Spanish speakers, Italian speakers, Hindi speakers, Japanese speakers, German speakers, Portuguese speakers. Those are all other languages that we support, but that I don't personally support. That's not part of my my runtime. I don't have those languages available. So what's nice about this, though, is that I can have a translator, someone that speaks those native languages. I can have them come right in here and I can say, hey, you know what? We need all of this content converted. And so they could say, okay, I've got these action queries. So they just come in and they add a new row that is something in Portuguese. And then over here, I say this is an action query. And it's tagged the same way. But in this case, I say Portuguese. I'll say this is Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. So now, if somebody comes into my skill and they, if their device is set up to speak in Brazilian Portuguese, then it will only use the action queries that I have that are tagged as Portuguese. Now, again, this is my code behind the scenes making these decisions. There's not like some magic that happens, but I have a query that says, hey, go get an action query. And as part of that query, it's also looking for the specific locale of the user that's making the request. And you can see that in pretty much everything that I do. So if we go to my sound effect, let's use the speech combo. You can see that right here, I say, hey, go get me an action query. And I say, I want an action query type. This is basically just string matching. And then here, I built myself a little function, but what I'm doing is passing in the locale. So when I look at get random speech con, this is the API that actually goes out and gets this data, you can see that what I'm doing here as part of my call in is that I'm saying, I want you to only bring me back records that are not disabled, because sometimes I want to pull something out of rotation or something like that. So there's a disabled column that allows me to pull things out of rotation without deleting them or something. And then I also want to find all of the things that match my query that are in that specific locale. So that is how that works. Now, SpeechCons don't have type, right? There's just SpeechCons. But if you look at get random speech, you can see the query is slightly more complex in that I have is disabled, again, on every single one of them. Then I check and see what the speech type is. So this is the action query or something else, and then the locale. And so that's how each of my queries work when I call out to my database to get that data back. And so then it just grabs that type of content. It randomly grabs one for me and returns that back into my code so that I can use it in what I'm doing. So that is a long way of saying that all of this content is stored here. I'm going to delete this just so it doesn't end up living on. But all of these action queries are things. So I should ultimately have 50 or 100 of these so that as people are using my skill, every time that they finish doing something, I'm like, hey, by the way, did you also know you could do this? Or what else would you like to try? Like to keep them kind of coming back. Okay. So I think I've explained that in a decent way. And so if we look at launch request, one of the things that I have here is this long welcome, this static content written right into my code. This is always a red flag to me that, do I have, turn that off. Let's see if we can. I get very particular about the layout of my code and what's readable to me. It's still on. What do I need to do to turn that off? I thought I had. I don't want to hide it. I want to turn it off. If I go into, where might I have that hiding? This is, I turned this off on my other one. I want my settings. That's what I want. Settings, workspace, preferences, settings. Font size, tab size, all of that is great. I thought I had a place in here where you define formatting. I think I just need to turn that off. So let's see if that fixes what I'm trying to do here. That did it. Okay, cool. So one of the things that I should do is take this welcome statement. Now I do have some of those in my database already. I have these welcomes, right? Welcome, welcome. And we're changing the name of the skill, so we're going to say welcome to the voice developer. That's what we're going to call this skill. And that's why you'll see some remnants of something that I built. This is voice developer. Hello and welcome to voice developer. Okay. And then I have a welcome. Welcome to the voice developer skill. You can ask about development topics, get more information. Great. And then welcome to voice developer. I'm sure I'll find other things in there as well, but this is a good start. Thanks, Curious Orbit. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your class, and you're right. Go Guardians. For those of you that aren't following baseball, the American League Central, which is where my team, the Cleveland Guardians, play, is a hotly contested division, and the Guardians are in first place. And so I'm very excited to see how this is going to shake out. We have 10 days left in the season, and they are ahead of the team behind them by 4 games, and they play them 3 times. So there's a chance this could get really close, but I'm hoping that we can lock it down today, tomorrow, and Thursday, so that we don't have to worry about it anymore. But we'll see. There's lots to come. So anyway, so I have these welcome statements. So the first thing that I should do is, you can see that I also have the capability to like have a welcome first. This is something that I use when this is the first time they've used the skill. That requires me to know a few things, and I don't know that stuff yet, so we're not going to worry about that for now. But I do want to use these welcome statements because it's very easy, the way that I've structured all of this, to get that data that I want. So what we're going to do here is, much like we have this await statement, we're going to do the same thing here. And we're going to just take this. Nope. I have to reload. Like, I've been working on my Mac for like 1.5 years without coming here. There it is. So I have to remember what the keystrokes are. And so instead of an action query, we're going to say this is a welcome. And that should do it, right? That should allow me to then, instead of having that static content, it should just grab me a random welcome message. So I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to reload this local debugging. We can spend days talking about the local debugging and how awesome it is. But I've just restarted my service. I'm going to come over to my developer console, and this time I'm going to have to quit. So let's stop first out of the skill.
Goodbye.
And then let's open Voice Developer again. And this time it should give me one of those welcome messages.
You asked me about office hours. Alexa Developer office hours are live streamed on Twitch every Tuesday.
Apparently I didn't actually quit. Let's try that again. Now let's try Open Voice Developer.
Hello, and welcome to Voice Developer. This skill can give you information and answers about Alexa skill development.
So you can see that it chose this one. Now the thing that it didn't do was give me an action query, and there's a reason for that. Because what I need to do here is add a space and then add my action query. So this is the reason that I break this stuff up too, which is kind of nice. So I get a welcome and I get an action query. The action query is the thing that I want to ask you, like, hey, what do you want to do? And so what I can do is I can take my welcome, I can tack on the action query right after it. And then for my reprompt, which is what I say if the user doesn't respond to me, I can just use that action query part again, where I see a lot of people when they build their content, they combine these two things into one unified statement. And then it becomes kind of challenging. Like, well, what am I going to say is the question? Because that's just one long string now. So by having these separate, I can very easily kind of break them apart and use them as I like. And so let's try that again. I'll refresh. We'll come back to our testing, and we will say quit. It's out of our skill. And then we can say, come on.
Hello, and welcome to Voice Developer. This skill can give you information and answers about Alexa skill development. What would you like to do next?
Okay, so that what would you like to do next is going to become more and more of recommendations. But what would you like to do next? You can see I have both of those pieces here. So this is the piece. It chose this one again randomly out of the 5 that I have. And then for the action query, it chose what would you like to do next? So it chose this one. What's really nice about this is that by breaking all of this content into little chunks, it makes the experience that you have with the skill sound different and feel different every single time. You're not hearing the same words in the same order every single time. You get a really nice kind of conversation, right? Which is really what we're going for here. Okay, so that was one little thing that was annoying me that I wanted to fix. So my welcome is now done. I need to add more content. That's a separate time, separate day. Let's close my my node modules folder here so we can see everything. One of the other things that I was working on was the speech content. So I think this is pretty much baked. Did I get? I did already do this. So one of the other things I wanted to check, and I've started leaving myself to-dos, is that if I come into the testing tool and I say, give me a speech con, should pick one at random.
Jeepers creepers. Did you know that you can ask for sound effects? Just say something like, play a laser sound effect.
Hey, Jeff Nunn. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I am back. I'm trying to do some things, trying to build some stuff. So I thought this would be a good time, good place to do it. So thanks for noticing. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so you can see that it's doing the randomization also. So if you just say, give me a speech con, or I think you could even just say speech con. And if you can't, we'll fix that.
You asked me about speech cons. Bazinga.
Yeah.
Speech cons are special words and phrases that Alexa pronounces more expressively.
Okay, so this is a trick I've got. If we look at what's the best way to do this? If we look at my interaction model, we'll go here, just because this is a better visualization, even though I'm doing it locally. If we look at my interaction model, I have a bunch of intent. I'm going to have many more intents too, but I have the speech con intent. And if we look at that, it says, give me a speech con, pick a speech con, let me hear a speech con. I think I probably have a few more too, right? You have to have things like this and this one, specifically for when people try to one-shot into your skill. And so in this case, someone might say, ask voice developer for a speech con. So you want to have those kind of utterances in there as well, in case someone's trying to go right to the thing they want without opening the skill and getting the welcome and then saying, hey, please give me a speech con. They can just kind of jump right in. So it's good to have those kinds of utterances as well. But in here, I don't have speech con at all. And the reason for that, I won't do that here, but let's jump into my code and we can go look at my model. And this is where I should be mixing up this stuff. So here I have something like, what did I say? I saw, let me hear. So let me hear. So this is other ways for them to say that they want to hear a specific one. I only have the one, which is say. I could also say play, I guess. Well, no, that's not what I asked for. Play speech con, like so. Okay, a couple of other good ones. I'm not gonna update my model for now, just because that takes a little while. But I've got that stuff in here, and when I deploy at the end of the session, then all that stuff will be there. Kevin's question is, when you start building a skill, do you tend to wireframe script things first or just organically go with the flow? I think what you're seeing right here is a good indication that I just kind of go with the flow. One of the things that I do frequently, though, is that as I get in here, like I'm going to build the one thing that I had the idea for. And in this case, this is my sound effect one. This is what we're going to spend some time working on today. But in my sound effect one, I basically came in and I said, if I say the name of a sound effect, I want to go get, I do that somewhere. So I basically capture what you said, right? I have spoken words, and then I have resolved words. Resolved words means I matched one of the sound effects that I already have in my slot values. And so in here, what I'm saying is if I didn't match anything, then we need to do something for them. We'll just play something random or whatever. And so you can see that here, I'm going to get a random sound effect, and then I'm going to play that sound effect for them. And so this is actually me jumping into my database. Again, even if you have it in your slots, there's a lot of time where you need a sound effect, or you need a database also. And so this database I have here is a list of all of the sound effects. There's 3,018 of them. And then I also do things like this to make my life a lot easier. So I have a column that I call Alexa slot JSON. What this is actually doing is building the JSON that I need to put into my interaction model. And so because I have all these sound effects in here, I can just click on this column and hit Control-C, and I can come over to my interaction model, which is this guy. And you'll see that down here at the bottom, Those are my sound. These are all the sound effects. But all I had to do was literally paste that data. Didn't have to do anything else. Didn't have to type any of this. It was a very easy way for me to manage my data in a database. And then when I want to create the slots in my actual values, slots in my model, all I have to do is copy and paste that column, and I have all of them. If any changes were made, if any new synonyms existed, if anything, all of that stuff immediately translates here, so that I don't have to worry about like coming in and just adding one, like, okay, I'm going to add a synonym for this that's door. Like I don't have to do any of that. I manage it all in the database, and then I can just copy paste and be done with it. Sounds like Dana Voice is going to Disneyland. That's a better day than I'm having. But that sounds pretty fun. I am not going to Disneyland today, although this is my Disneyland. I love doing this stuff. I love building cool things. So as I said here, I say go get a random sound effect. So let's see if that actually works. I didn't remember finishing this, so let's come in here and say open Voice Developer.
Welcome, Voice Developer. What can I help you with?
Laser
You can hear any speech con or sound effect.
See what we get here.
Zoinks.
What should we do now?
Well, now that was a speech con. That is not what I asked you to do. You can also see that I'm just sending a simple card, but this should be helpful as a developer to be like, oh yeah, it's say as, interpreted as, interjection, and then I just put the word inside the brackets. Again, this is meant to be a resource for developers so that they can actually know how to do the thing without having to jump into the docs and search around and find things. But that didn't work. Play a laser sound effect. So I think if I look in here, this is also very searchable. Search for laser. I have sci-fi laser gun battle. Man, I'm going to have to do something with that because it didn't find it as is. And I have to figure out how to make my synonyms better. So you can see that like for the sci-fi laser gun battle 01, I actually need to split this stuff. So you can see I have these really nice formulas and then a window that is not terribly, oh, there we go. A window that is resizable. Thank you, Google Chrome. So in here, I'm substituting the name but I have to figure out, let's see, what is Paul Stubbs showing? I can't get to that link. But as I think about this JSON and what I want to do with it, I'm basically taking the name of the thing, which is sci-fi laser gun battle, and I'm substituting the underscores for spaces. But I think I actually want to substitute them for commas. We'll do comma space. Let's see what that does. That gives me sci-fi laser gun and battle, which is better. Better. Not ideal, but better. We could also take the category name and include that here as well. So let's see if we can do that. So we want to take this chunk, which is the, no, we got to do more than that. We got to do, how do I want to do this? I'm substituting, can I just do like an escape character? Let's see, like that. Is it 2 quotes? That gives me an error. If I bring, that's 5 quotes. I want 4 quotes. Save. No. 3 quotes. No. Okay. How do I escape a character? I feel like that has to be in there somewhere. I'm doing this. Let's just save, just so it's back to where it was. If I go to the top, I think I've added a couple synonyms. Am I doing them with? This one has whoosh and takeoff. I am doing double quotes. So how do I want to solve this? So as I substitute the name, I'm separating them by commas, but commas isn't enough. It needs to be I think I see what my problem is. If I make these single ticks, then I should be able to do that. What does that do? Airs in quotes, but horn and O1 did not get a leading quote. So as we substitute the name, but I can't do a new quote there. This is tricky because I don't know enough about the language of Airtable and how they want me to do this. There's probably a better way. Where did that go? Formula field reference. So thank you, formula field reference. I want text operators, array join. Array join takes an array of items into a string with a separator. Just quick scan. Do they have anything that like does what I want? No. Okay. So if I look at what I'm doing here, I think it's what I'm doing here. Like this substitute array join, because this is kind of the same thing. So if you look at this, like this whoosh and takeoff, whoosh out here at the end and takeoff here at the end. I guess I don't need whoosh anymore because it's part of the name, but whoosh and takeoff are both also part of the name. So I can remove those, but I think what I need to do is the same thing I have here, which is that I need to first create myself a value that is just a comma delimited list of items. And then if I look at substitute array join synonyms, and then I'm replacing comma space with quote, comma, quote. I have no idea what I'm doing here. So let's start with making this a little easier to read. Okay, so I have substitute name, and I'm going to get rid of this quotation mark. This now gives me a comma delimited list, which is what synonyms is. So I should be able to say array join, and after array join, we're going to do this. Array join on my substitute should go right here. Just see what that gets me. There was an error. Please check your formula. Thank you for all the error handling. I need a comma right there. Save. Oh, good. Okay. Getting there. So I have airplane takeoff, whoosh, and O1. That's what I had before. That doesn't help me a ton. So let's look at what else happened here. If we now look at substitute, if I just put this at the beginning, we do array join is this, so like this. This can be save. Airplane, takeoff, whoosh, 01. And so these two words can actually go away in this case. But that looks perfect, right? You guys can you guys see this okay? Like, I don't even know if I'm giving you a font size that's readable, but this now gives me my synonyms list, which is airplane, takeoff, whoosh, and 01. Now, there's another piece to this, which is that I don't ever want the numbers. I don't ever want the numbers. So is there a regular, gosh, regex functions. Here we go. I love regex so much. What do I need to do here? I want to substitutes all matching substrings with a replacement string value. So I provide the value, which is hello world. I provide my regular expression. And then I say, in this case, this is actually perfect. I want nothing. And so it just removes the space and the word hello, and the word world. Okay, let's give it a try. So what that means is we're going to have to go in here for substitute. We could do it right here. So regex replace. And name is the thing that I want to do. That's the thing I want it to replace. This is what I want it to be. And that should do it. That should at least not error out. Okay. And everything still looks good. So now I need to figure out what the regex is for just any number. If the peanut gallery has some regex experience, I don't have a ton, and I feel like I have to look it up every time. So I'm going to do it. But if anybody has an idea for any number, okay, /d, perfect. Let's try that and see if it does what we want. So regex replace. We're going to do /d, save. Look at this madness. We're so close. I wonder if I could do it. Can I do it like this? That got rid of it. Oh, not entirely. Okay, so that was close. We're close. We're not there yet. The problem I have is that I am in the wrong place. So we're going to have it replace underscores first. That's confusing. And then all of this goes here. I was afraid of that. Okay, we're getting closer. I am replacing numbers with nothing. But I also, is there a trim function? If I look at text operators, is there a trim? Because I have a space on the end. Trim removes white space at the beginning. Yeah, sweet. Okay, so what we can do here is say trim And substitute name, put another parentheses right here, and I will never be able to create this again. That didn't do it. That didn't do it. Why didn't that do it? Do you guys see the issue I'm running into? Like, I have air and I have horn, but I'm getting this third empty value, and that has to be because of the O1. Huh. I mean, it's clearly replacing the number, and it says it's replacing all instances. So the 0 and the 1 are going away. Thank you guys for the regex stuff. But what I can't see, not easily, because there's just so much happening here, I'm substituting underscores, which is the values that I have over here, with spaces. Am I? With a comma and a space. It's the comma that's my problem. It's the comma. So because I have a comma, it's just treating it like there's one more value, because in my substitution for my name, I'm just replacing each of these underscores with a comma. So even though there's no value left here, it's still finding it. So I need to remove the number first. Yeah, Paul, this actually isn't JSON. This is actually like a formula for Airtable. The JSON that I get out of the output, I'm outputting JSON, is what's readable here behind the scenes. But I need to figure out how to remove the number first before I substitute underscores. And so if I do my regex first, like so, do it right on name, and then this was the other piece here. And this goes right here. Didn't break it. Now I just end up with a closing comma in my last value. Why would that be? So let's spread this out a little bit and see if we can play. So the first thing, can I do line breaks? Yeah. Whoa. Look at that. The first thing that I do is my regex replace, where I'm removing all digits. But that doesn't remove my underscore. So I wonder if I use what Molero gave me instead of this. I do this. I see what he's got. Okay. I do this and then underscore and then 0 through 9 and then this and then a plus. Yeah. What does that do? That removes all underscores. I can't have that. Can't have all underscores gone. And that gets me back there. What I really want is like, did that do it? Regex is the best. Okay, so it looks like I've got it. So now I have air and horns. and in this case, it's airboat, right? I'm just using this name column for right now. We're going to add in the category as well here in just a second. Okay, so let's do that. The other thing that we want to add into our synonyms, we have, and then if the length of synonyms is greater than 0, then we add this string. But I think we also want to do, let's think about this. I don't think any of the categories are going to have numbers in them. That seems unlikely. That is what I'm seeing. And so if I wanted to do this for the category as well, it feels like I could do something similar. So let's just do, and for now, let's just do it simple, and category. Okay, so all that did was add our category to the end. Obviously, that's not what we want. So now that we have category in there, what we want to do is take that category, and the first thing that I want to do is remove that. So I can just do a substitute. I think I want to keep the category groupings together. So like chimes and bells would be a synonym. Chimes would be a synonym. Chickens, doors, cellar. This gets trickier, but I think it's okay. So if I take my category, the first thing I got to do is get rid of that slash. So let's do that. So I'm going to take any slash we find, just turn it into nothing. No, can't be nothing. Got to be a space because we're going to want to break these up. So category becomes that. Animals, chickens. Then we want to take each value and wrap it in quotes, which means it's not a space. It's actually a comma. And then I should be able to just do the array join part, I think. So I have my substitute, so I should be able to do an array join right here. And then array join 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I think it's this. Right there. Save. That didn't really get me what I wanted. Oh, also, that's interesting. These X's are here. I'll have to handle for those later. Okay, so what did we do at the beginning? And array join substitute category. It feels like I'm always going to have a name, so I can always assume a comma here, and I can always assume a quote there. And then on the other side, I should be able to assume an exiting quote. Closer. Now we just need the center of it, and that I thought that's what the array join would give me. I wonder if I could just do that. No. I wonder if that would be. This isn't going to be perfect, but let's see if that. Maybe it is going to be perfect. Why do you guys doubt me so much? Let's see. I don't think I can get rid of all x's, but we can try that. So if I say x09, that got rid of my x's, so that's perfect. But I wonder if there's any other time where there's an x that's supposed to be there. Like ax or something where a word, like it's not going to get rid of that, is it? Crowd excited cheer, and the X exists. Great job. Thank you, Malero. Like I said, I absolutely hate regular expressions, but this looks like what I wanted it to look like, except for the underscores. So the underscores also need to go. And I think I want to keep them together, because I don't want 1,000 things with the word background as a synonym. So I think I just want to, on category, I just want to do another substitute. And so this, whoa, where's my mouse? This substitute goes to here. So this one I should just be able to say substitute underscore for space. Save. This is the most complex formula I've ever written. Okay, I think we're good. So this is where some magic gets to happen. So I've changed my formula to write all of this JSON. And so the beauty of this now is that I can literally just take this, copy, go to my editor here, look at my model. I showed you what it looked like earlier. So we're just going to come in here. We're going to find the beginning of that, wherever it is. There it is. And we take this all the way to the bottom, take it to this, paste. And now my entire JSON model is updated. That's it. I didn't have to like go in and manipulate and change all of this stuff. It generated all of it for me. I have all of my synonyms now in my model. We can come into my terminal and I can say ask deploy. We'll do that because we made a couple of changes. That will take just a minute to get everything up to date, but that should then let us start searching for our sound effects. And so there's a number of challenges we'll still run into here, but I want to see if I can actually get this to retrieve a sound effect for me. So let's see if I missed anything. All right. My mom wants to know why I'm wearing glasses. Well, I put the comments from all of you guys up on my small little teleprompter, like you guys are in the camera. And so it's a little small. Maybe I could make that a little bigger. I also added this secondary camera angle. Hi, everybody. I think that's working. Yeah. So I don't think we need the secondary camera angle all the time, but I thought that was kind of fun to add in. But yeah, we're coming along. Things are going. Invalid callback. What? Never seen that error before. I'm expecting a call from a lawn service, so you guys get to join along with me here. I have to answer every spam call that comes in. Hello? This is him. Cool. Complete Home Services. Awesome. I'm so glad they called me. Okay, so that didn't work. Why didn't that work? This isn't even my stuff. This is me deploying. Node modules. I have updated everything, I thought. Is there like a, I think there is. Yeah, I think it's, make sure I get this right. I think it's just reinstall. I don't do this very often. Let's do that, because I just got this machine set up again, and it's possible that I have some old crufty things in there, so it'll just take a second. But probably good to make sure that I've got everything up to date. Yeah, see, it doesn't like this UUID, which is the thing that it threw the error on. Try that again. Permission denied. Maybe I lost my authentication? I don't know what's happening there. I'm guessing that was the problem. But we will see. So I want Jeff. Yes. Default. Okay. Ask deploy. Do the thing. That wasn't it. All right. Let's blow that one away. And try that again. npm install. Added one package. What, and now we're good? The security token included in the request is invalid. Deploy Alexa still infrastructure. So you don't, okay, so AWS config. Is that the issue? That's fine, that's fine. I just did this. Oh, I'll bet. Okay, okay, that's fine. We'll fight this out. I have to go off screen for a second because we're going to use some secret stuff. Let's try this again. So we're going to go over to AWS, get our credentials. That's probably where we're at. AWS. I can't show you this part because this is like all my secret keys and stuff. I don't need to give all that away. Sign into the console. This is what working on a machine that hasn't actually connected to the AWS CLI in a year, but is what that's what happens. So I need to come in here and find my security credentials. I know you guys can't see any of this. That's on purpose, but we'll get this figured out in just a second. Try that again. Security credentials, please. There it is. Last used 84 days ago. I'm going to say I can delete that one. Delete. Okay. Delete it. Create a new one. Okay. Now we got to go back to the CLI. The thing I can't show you. AWS configure. Access key is going to be that. And my access key will be that. I don't think that did it right. No, that did not do it right. AWS configure. Oh my gosh. AWS configure, please. Okay. There we go. That should work now. Okay, so now if I do a little clear, we can bring the screen back. Okay, so I think I've got my AWS configuration set up now. Actually, let's pause for one moment. There's nothing I love more than just showing all of my security credentials to the internet. So, okay. Now I think we're good. Okay, so now I should be able to say ask deploy. And it should be like, hey, now I'll work. I'm sure it was my security credentials. That seems like what the issue would have been. Good that I can fight through this. No. Default the operator. An update is in progress for... Are they updating my Lambda right now? That's kind of the vibe that gives me. The operation cannot be performed at this time. An update is in progress for that resource. Weird. Paul, I appreciate that. I don't trust anyone, but thank you. What? Well, let's do the, what was the update? There's an update to the Ask CLI. I didn't get that earlier. Did they just launch that? You're gonna make me sudo it? Don't make me fight you. I mean, maybe that was the, I don't know. I don't know things. Ask deploy. Work this time. I specifically got in here early this morning, set up my machine, did a deployment, everything worked just fine. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Ignore the hash. There is a way to do this where you can just go in and change your hashes. So just so you guys know, in here in this ask thing, there's ask states, and they have these hash values, these last deploy hashes. If you delete these, it will always update the thing. You have one for your skill metadata, one for your code. If they're missing or they're different, like if I just change a character, then it'll be like, oh, this doesn't match. I'm going to update. But I can also just say ignore the hash and go, and then it should say I don't care if the hashes match or don't match. And we should be good to go. hopefully. And that may be all I have time for today. I actually have to get some stuff done. And I'll be back in, is that 2.5 hours? I've got a little time yet. We got to at least make this sound effect thing work, right? I didn't expect to get caught up in deployment. But I'll be back on the Alexa channels at noon for office hours. So if you guys haven't been in office hours in a little while, stop on by. Be good to have you. Okay. Skill metadata went nicely. How you feeling, Lambda? You gonna play the game? This is feeling really good. I just said the bad words. Come on. Do it. Do the dance. Do the thing. Give me the green check marks. Oh my goodness. What are we doing? I don't even really have that much code yet. We've only just begun. It keeps flickering on me. I feel like it's done. It's not done. It worked. It worked. It worked. Everybody, hey, it worked. All right, let's go. Let's fire up some debugging first. Let's do some local debugging just to get it all running here. I have deployed to production, whatever that is right now, and but I like local debugging because you can see what's happening. And then we're going to come in here, and Zoinks, what should we do now? We should be able to say, play a laser sound effect.
I am having trouble connecting to the audio file URI.
Are you now? Well, that's because you didn't actually get anything. That's fine. So that's a fixable problem. But you can see that I'm trying to send a sound effect library thing, and it didn't work. And I think I know why. Because I changed things in my database and didn't change them in my code. Okay. Sound effect intent. So what I do here is I have category and I have name. So let's just slap a little breakpoint. This is where local debugging becomes amazing. So play a laser sound effect. Did I break the skill?
Here's Sci-Fi Sound FX Laser Blast sound effect. This is Voice Developer.
Play a laser sound effect. Do it. Oh, because I'm on my breakpoint. Duh. Okay, so sound effect spoken word, it got laser. Sound effect resolve words, we resolved a bunch of stuff. And so I got a name. Can I expand this window, please? Then all I got is the name, but that's all I need. So I don't need the category and the name anymore. I just need the name. Okay, so that's resolved. That's if I got, so I'm saying sound effects should now, I should just be able to do.
The requested skill took too long to respond.
I know. I think I can just do this because I am getting value.name here. So it should just be sound effect. let's reload that. We can turn off our breakpoint and just let it work. Here's my call. Hello. Ooh. Amazon's calling me to authorize a payment of $999. No, they're not. Okay. So sound effect value that I'm pulling out of my resolved words. And I'm just looking at 0. Now, this is not that we're going to do one. We're going to make one more change here. But this is a good start. So let's see if we can get that sound effect to go. So we'll restart our local debugging. And now we'll say open voice developer, fire up our skill. Then we will say play a laser sound
Hello.
effect. Play a laser sound effect.
I am having trouble connecting to the audio file URI.
What? Okay, sound library, guns, futuristic. So what I can do here, this is another nice thing if you haven't done this before. We can just take everything. Actually, we could take all of this. Take this whole. I do love all the scrolling. Okay. Probably do that. Cool. So I scroll down, then there's another scroll window. Do that. Okay. Copy that. Let's go to voice and tone, and we'll see what's wrong. Okay. You don't like that. So, oh, it's, why is it escaping? Why is it escaping my quotes? What if we just do this? Is that the issue? What? I don't know why that would be the problem, but it's escaping characters for me. I don't want it to escape characters for me. Okay, open voice developer.
Hello, and welcome to Voice Developer.
Play laser sound effect.
I am having trouble connecting to the audio file URI.
Okay, we're getting there. Guns, futuristic, sci-fi, laser gun, large, all of that looks good. So now I need to go to the sound effects library. Alexa, sound effects library. And if you guys didn't know this existed, I'm hoping everybody knows, but if you didn't know this existed, it is a huge library of sound effects. And so if I take this one, we go into my testing tool, my voice and tone. That should be a bear roaring. Cool. So what's different about mine? Yeah, it does not like it. Soundbank : / sound library / gun / futuristic / sci-fi laser gun fires large 03. So let's go find that specific one. I can't imagine. Okay, put that in here. You'll find it. You don't even match the search for your. Oh, okay. Deep breaths, Jeff. Deep breaths. Okay, so we are looking for guns futuristic. Let's just do it that way. Guns futuristic. Okay, and then mine is called Sci-Fi Laser Gun Fires Large 03. Sci-Fi Laser Guns Fires Large 3. Are you kidding me? Why is that name like that? Are they all that way now? I don't remember them all being that way. Yeah, they're not. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but this one has AMZN underscore SFX on the beginning. But others don't, like this one. That means this database that I made isn't complete. Guns, futuristic. Come on. Sort these by category, maybe. Guns, futuristic. I mean, I can fix this one, right? AMZN SFX. And now, if I change, I mean, this is my data problem, but like if I do it here, AMZN SFX underscore people play. No? Did I not name that properly? AMZN SFX sci-fi laser gun fires. It's only sci-fi is the category? Oh my goodness, they have made everything awful. All right, well, this is a me problem, I guess. I have all the data I need here, but the category in this one is just sci-fi. It's not guns futuristic, which is what the category actually is. I don't know if you guys can see the issue I'm having. I basically, at one point, parsed this entire page and generated all of this data. So I had the category name, and then I had the name of the file so that I could do this. And it appears it has changed. So just to verify that if I had the right names of things, so instead of guns futuristic, I say sci-fi. Now this will work. Yeah. So it's just that my data is terrible. All right, well, I'm going to have to do that again then. I'm going to have to go regenerate this entire database. And it's not going to be... There's almost a third bit of data now. It used to be there was a category, and then there was a name. And now there's like a... I don't even know what you call this. There's the category name, guns and futuristic, which I want. I want that as metadata. But I also need this category name that's here, which is different. It's just sci-fi. That is the most annoying thing I've ever heard of. Okay, well, for now, let's just test this with something that we can use. No, because it's possible that all the data is wrong. So let's look at our other code. Let's at least see if this works. No, this isn't going to work either because I'm getting a random sound effect from my database. So no, can't do any of it, unfortunately. Man, that's annoying. Okay, so we got a big to-do up here. Scrape the entire sound effects database, include name, and category name. Boo. That is less fun. There's also this new there's this cool tree viewer that I used. Let's see if I can find to-do tree, I think is what it's called. If you guys haven't seen this, this is also pretty cool. Yeah. So in here, I get rid of this. It looks at my project. It shows me files that have the word to do like this. And then I can open it up and it shows me like, hey, here's some things that you still need to do. It basically highlights for me all of my to-dos so that I can quickly go through and be like, all right, let's work on this today. So it's a nice way also to create your files and just put a bunch of to-dos in there like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. But you have all of your files there. This then becomes a task list for you to be able to be like, oh, you know what, we're going to work on this today. So like if we look at, well, no breakpoints. If we look at this, for my answer intent, this is something else I've started working on. If there were no entities resolved, then I need to tell them I don't know about that one or something like that. So I haven't done this, but if I click on this thing, it opens the file for me. It takes me right to the to-dos so that I can work on this stuff. But this is a really, this is how I mark up my code anyway. Like, hey, don't forget to do this thing. And so then you can come in and when you're done, you just remove, you remove your to-do statement and it goes away. So pretty cool. So I like this to-do tree. It's kind of nice. And it'll also do it for all of your projects. So if I had multiple projects available here, it would show me all of my projects and I could come in and just pick the one that I currently want to work on. Anyway, that is that. We're back in action. I'm not committing to a schedule yet. I would imagine I will probably do this Tuesdays and Thursdays minimum. But for the old timers around here, I was doing this every morning for quite a while. So I think we're going to ramp up to that. I don't know what my time frame is going to be. Today I started at 8:15. I don't know if I'll do it at 8 or 8:15 every day. I'm still figuring this stuff out. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, having the conversation, joining me here. But we'll get through this. Sometimes data is just the problem, and that's certainly the case for me today. So I'm going to sign off, and we will be back on Thursday for sure. And then we'll just kind of play it by ear going forward. But I would expect at a minimum Tuesday, Thursday, and then if we can add some bonus days throughout the week, we'll do it. But I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you guys are still paying attention and we're still subscribed. So thank you guys all for being here. And I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Take care.